Hey everyone, my name's Kerry Daigle, and tonight we're hosting the Keep Punching University call, and we've got a special guest speaker, Toni Branner. You're going to hear a lot more about Toni Branner in just a minute. Some of you have met Toni. Some of you have been in our business with the Juice Plus company for quite a few years and know who Toni is. Many of you that are tuning in and are going to tune in on the recorded call or get a chance to meet her maybe for the very first time. So Toni, we welcome you tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate you coming on.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Kerry.
Let's start right from the beginning, Toni, if you don't mind. You're an exercise physiologist, and would you mind sharing for the people that really don't understand what is the technical definition of an exercise physiologist? What do you do?
Oh, that's a great question. Well, I was starting out and majoring in biology, and I thought I might want to go into medical school. And I, after cutting up a dead cat, a dead pig, a dead shark, and watching my husband come home every night sad because he'd been working on a cadaver all day, I thought maybe I'd prefer being more on the prevention and performance side of things. And I did a little research and found that I could go to graduate school with a biology and physical education degree back then. And exercise physiology is really all about the cellular level of performance. So we did a lot of work with blood work, with oxygen capacity. We call it a VO2 max test. Just really a lot of research on how to improve performance. Sometimes, tiny increments can make a difference. And sometimes, we can make giant leaps in performance with some of our techniques. But it's a wonderful field to be in, and it's really expanded over the years. That was 40 years ago. And I think I've done a pretty good job of keeping up to date with everything.
Where are you originally from, Toni? Are you from Ohio?
Believe it or not, I've never lived in Ohio. I was born in Arkansas. Let's hear it for any Arkansas friends out there. And grew up in Northern Virginia, Washington, D.C. area, and went to UNC Chapel Hill for university training, and met my husband there. And we moved just a couple hours west, and that's Charlotte, North Carolina. So we've been here 34 years now. So Charlotte is home now.
How did you develop a passion for health, prevention, and performance?
Well, it started when I was a little girl. My mother was one of the very first people she taught exercise in our basement to pay for our dance lessons. And everything was choreographed, sort of Jane Fonda style. And then she was the first person that I know of that opened her own personal training studio. She had a building, and this was 60 years ago. And so that was pretty amazing. So I just grew up around that. And yeah, when I went to school, I thought, no, I'm not going to do the same thing as my mom. But then turned out that's exactly what I did.
Very interesting.
And I'm proud of it too. And she's 80 and still going strong. 2 tennis
Wow.
teams, works out every day. Just climbed a mountain to see the monarch butterflies in Mexico. So that she's truly an inspiration.
Wow, what a story. Interesting. Well, how did you connect to the Juice Plus company originally, Toni?
Hmm. Well, I think I see Terry Bush on this call. Terry invited me to hear a lecture at our local hospital, and I learned about the functional plant powders 29 years ago now. And it made a lot of sense to me. And I brought it home for my own family. And my daughter had eczema and ear infections and chronic strep throat. And my little boy would only eat white foods that didn't touch each other. We just, even though I was working in wellness, we were still getting our fair share of sickness. My husband's a doctor. And so, yeah, we just had a great experience. And there came a day where I just decided it was unethical for me not to share it with others, and called Terry up and said, I'm ready to share this. So that's been a little over 20 years ago.
Well, I'm a little curious. I do know this, and do several other people do too, that you hold the highest executive position available in the field. Was that something that you thought was going to happen when you first signed up?
No, I was one of those really difficult people who, had to memorize all the research studies. And those of you who know, knew amazing gentleman, Rick Du Bois, we had cassette tapes with Rick Du Bois. And one day my little boy said, Mommy, could we listen to something other than Dr. Du Bois? Because I would listen to them over and over and over in the car. I thought I had to know everything. I thought I had to know every answer. I didn't keep it simple. I said I didn't care about the compensation plan. I just cared about helping people. Now I wish I had paid a little more attention to the business side of things in the beginning. I think my business would be even bigger and more stable and all the things. But things happen for a reason. And I got that mission right from the beginning. I was on a mission.
Well, some people listening may not know a lot about the Juice Plus functional plant powders, the oil and the shakes.
Hmm.
Can you tell us a little more about them for those new people that are just joining us?
Yes, welcome. If this is the first time you're hearing about our community, I'd like to welcome you, and please know you're in the right place. Whether you're just curious and want more education, or whether you're really looking for a community like ours. But what a novel idea. We used to think if you weren't eating perfectly, you could just take a vitamin, and then we learned that isolated vitamins were possibly causing more harm than not taking a vitamin at all. And that was my research in graduate school. And so when I learned about the Juice Plus company and how they were taking vine ripened produce grown on beautiful farms and letting it completely, come to ripeness, picking it, flash freezing it on site to lock in the thousands of micronutrients, because that's what makes food different than a vitamin. It has thousands of flavonoids, carotenoids, live enzymes, vitamins, minerals, just on and on and on, that keep us healthy at the cellular level. And then they pulverize them, leaving in the seeds and the peel and the fiber, and they dry them in a controlled environment that maintains the nutrition. And they blend the powders and put them in amazing capsules, which keep them protected from oxygen. And they ship them right to your door and you eat them. So it's an amazing way to bridge the gap between what you should be eating and what you're actually eating. So there's a fruit one, a veggie one, a berry one. And then later, we were able to develop the plant-based omega oils, which are what we call essential omega fatty acids. And essential means you can't get them you can't make them yourself in your body. You have to eat them, right? And so this is amazing because a lot of people have done fish oil, and there's lots of issues with that. But why not go to the original source? The fish get it from algae, along with 5 other cold pressed oils. And these are so important for performance, but also joint health, brain health, eye health. My husband's an ophthalmologist, so he sees people every day losing their vision to macular degeneration and cataracts and glaucoma. They have to have fruits and veggies. They have to have these oils. And then lastly, we have amazing smoothies or shake mixes that you can just add to water or plant milk. Our Juice Plus Complete has 15 plants already in it, and our Juice Plus Perform has 18 plants. So for a snack or for a meal, you can just get amazing nutrition with amazing ingredients. And don't worry, you get all that protein that you're worried about. All the essential amino acids are in all 3 of our smoothies.
Now, I've got a few texts. I'm looking at my phone. I'm sitting right on the side of my computer, and I've got a few texts that are coming in. And here's one of the questions. I'm gonna have to ask you this question.
Uh-oh.
The question is, your husband is a physician. Did he
Mhm.
have a lot of questions initially when you first started with the Juice Plus company?
Oh, yeah. He wouldn't take it at first, and then he got the flu, and none of us did. And then he started stealing our Juice Plus. So it was definitely a process. You have to be patient with people who are skeptical. I call it healthy skepticism. The people who are the most skeptical become the most loyal. So you can't give up on them. You can't be afraid of them. And those of you who are new, you may be sitting there having some questions. Bring them on. We love questions. We love it. That helps build your belief and helps you see what sets this apart from all the other things. So my husband's been recommending Juice Plus to his patients for 20 years.
Well, we know family is generally many times, sometimes the most difficult. So
Yeah, yeah.
we all know that. Now let's move over. As you can see, the background. Um, Today we wanted to discuss a little bit about the United States Performance Center. What is the USPC, and how did you connect with this group?
Okay, great question. So there's a gentleman, David Kerner, who I connected with over 20 years ago, and helped his family with Juice Plus. He then used Juice Plus with his athletes. He started his first training center in a tennis facility and then moved it to a beautiful location near me in Charlotte. And he understood right from the beginning that you can't just be concerned about macros, proteins, carbs, and fats with athletes. You have to think about that micronutrition, because that's what really helps with the cellular level of performance. And so we've been friends for a long time, and he had a dream of creating an Olympic training center, a development center. And he had a few times he thought it was almost ready to happen, and his dreams were busted. How many of you have ever had your dream busted before and had to start over? So he's very inspirational in that way. But a little less than 2 years ago, he called me and my husband and said, could we have dinner? And he shared with us that he had received a $25 million grant from the state of North Carolina to bring this Olympic Training Center to life. And then since then, they've received even more support. So he invited us to dinner, and he said, my athletes that train there will have micronutrition. We're going to make this a big part of our program, and that's really going to set us apart from all the other training programs in the world, that we focus on this micronutrition. His business partner is Ike Belk, and you may have heard of Belk Department Stores. That is that family. And Ike's grandfather never missed an Olympics. I think between the ages of like 20 and when he died at 90, he never missed an Olympics. He was the #1 individual contributor to the Olympic movement and served on the board of the Olympics. So Ike has a dream of, Ike played tennis at Clemson. He's an amazing person. And he had a dream of continuing his grandfather's legacy of supporting the Olympics. So now we have 18 national governing bodies of sport, NGBs, I'll help teach you the logo, that have signed on to train with the United States Performance Center. So that makes us the largest elite training center in the United States, which is pretty cool.
Very cool. How impressive. Wow. Well, tell us about the mission of the USPC of reducing healthcare costs globally, because I've seen where that's a big mission of theirs.
Absolutely. So as part of the training that the athletes get when they come in, I mean, it will just make you, you would be amazed. It'll blow your mind. They get the top sports psychology training. There's 9 patents that the USPC has developed for neurological equipment. For example, an athlete could come in and they test them on this equipment, and they might say, you're overtrained, so you're not going to train today. Or your right side is more developed than your left side, so they and all this equipment, it feeds it back into a computer. So they're constantly monitoring these athletes. They can even monitor what they're thinking when they're training. It's pretty cool. They're monitoring brain waves. So they're using this same equipment to do a study on stroke victims. And that has been underway almost for 2 years now already, with amazing results. So their dream is to take technology that is working for athletes and translate that into reducing healthcare costs and suffering of people, in everyday life. And I think that's one reason the state of North Carolina has given them so much support, because that stroke is the #1 expense for healthcare in our state. I don't know if it's that way for every state. So yeah, they're super proud of that. Lots of research, not only on the athletes, but on everyday people.
Wow. Now, this is kind of a direct question. I hope I'm not catching you off guard, but here we go. Which athletes are using the Juice Plus performance protocol?
Okay, great question. Well, first of all, what is the Juice Plus Performance Protocol? So that is the fruit, the veggie, the berry, and the plant-based omegas. And in September, we will be adding the Juice Plus Complete to that, but we have not added that yet. We're waiting for it to have NSF Sport certification. The fruit, veggie, berry powders, and the plant-based omegas already have NSF Sport. So the athletes can't put anything into their mouth that doesn't already have that certification, right? So the first 2 teams that we were able to get this protocol into are USA Field Hockey, the women's field hockey team, and USA Taekwondo. And then there's one kayak athlete that's going to Paris. And then there's also one para-Olympian, Carson Clough, who is amazing. And so those are the athletes that got it first. Since then, a lot more athletes have joined, and some of them are taking it, some of them are not, but those were the original ones that have been getting it into their bodies for over a year, with amazing results. So, and Manfred Lamprecht is helping us. He's our head of research at Juice Plus. He's helping us design protocols for pre and post testing on the athletes, so that we do blood work before on polyphenols and inflammatory markers, so that we can actually measure the effect of the Juice Plus physiologically on these athletes. So it's pretty exciting.
Wow, that's major. That's incredible news. Now, another maybe tough question, but let's go ahead. I'm gonna throw it at you. You think you could give us an idea of how many athletes are actually competing in Paris at the Olympics?
Yes, I have a cheat sheet. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
fine.
we have 19 field hockey players, the women's field hockey, and they've never qualified for the Olympics before. So this is really cool. They have a huge chance of doing well. For Taekwondo, we qualified in 4 weight classes, 2 females and 2 males. Our kayaker is amazing. We have 1 kayaker. We have Carson Clough. If you want to follow him on Instagram, his last name is spelled Clough. He's a personal friend of ours. He's been friends with my son since he was 5. And he lost his leg in a boating accident 5 years ago, and is already qualifying for the Olympics in triathlon, which is super cool. So you're going to want to watch out for him and cheer really loudly. And then there are NGBs that train at the USPC part-time, or they come in for testing and then they train somewhere else. So in those groups that are non-resident, we have 4 in archery going to Paris, 8 in artistic swimming, 4 in canoe and kayak, 4 judo, 24 in rugby, woohoo, 4
Wow.
tennis, table tennis, and 12 skateboarding, and 4 in the US triathlon. So lots. It's very exciting. Hi, Camille. I
Wow,
see you.
amazing. Now, how can other athletes and everyday people who want to perform better take advantage of the performance protocol?
Well, that's what's really cool is traditionally our company has focused more on prevention and families, and that's all amazing. We should still keep doing that because we're doing a lot of good. But this opens up a whole new category of people who really are focused on performance. And of course, athletes, of course, youth athletes, of course, those are very important, but also everyday performers, you know, leaders in their company, and people who want to climb a mountain or do a bike race, or people who just want to have more energy to have fun, right? Those are people, my phone's going off. Those are people that need our performance protocol. So what I say is the performance protocol that is being used by these elite athletes is now available for you, is now available for your gymnastics studio, is now available for your soccer team, is now available for your physical therapy clinic. You get it? And now you have that credibility because you're able to offer something that has published research, that has the ultimate quality control, right? And that comes from real food. And so you see, I'm not saying anything different than we usually say when we talk about Juice Plus and how it helps prevent, you know, inflammation and helps balance your immune system and all the things. Athletes care about those things too. But we just have to turn it just a little bit to focus on performance. As some of the athletes say, you have to speak athlete in order to connect with people in just a little bit different way. But don't be nervous because you're not an athlete to share this, because people need what we have. Every person on earth needs what we have, whether they're an athlete or not, whether they're grandma like me. I'm an athlete and a grandma. I told Kerry I box every morning, so he'd be proud of me.
Yeah, absolutely. I know that being a sports agent, a promoter in combat sports for 50 years, we have to be very careful as to how we talk about sponsorships. What language are we allowed to share right now when it comes to USPC, when it comes to the Olympic Games
Mhm.
and Juice Plus? Could you help us with that?
Yeah, I think corporate put out a statement, but we can say we are the only whole food. I don't want to say it wrong. I think what we'll do is put it out there, but we're the only whole food plant support for the United States Performance Center. And I think it's really important that we're really careful about that, because we can say things a little bit wrong, especially right now as we are in the Olympic period, right? So we got an email this week, and I kind of freaked out about it a little bit because it was these are things we're not allowed to post in conjunction with saying Juice Plus sponsors these athletes, right? We can't, between July 18th and August 13th, we can't show the Olympic rings as part of our post, any Paris mascots. We cannot use the word Olympic. We can't say Paris 2024. We can't say the games. We can't even show the Eiffel Tower. So they have a lot of rules for a reason. It's because some of these bigger companies pay $2 billion. I don't know how much they pay to be a sponsor of the Olympics. But what you can do is just don't mention the sponsorship with Juice Plus. You can say, way to go to this athlete, right? Way to go, Carson. And you can share what our company posts, because they're going to be posting some approved things that we can all share. And then once August 13th is passed, we'll have definitely more freedom on what we can post. But just be careful what you put on flyers, and, you know, don't put the Olympic rings on a flyer because we don't want to get in trouble. We don't want to jeopardize this partnership, because heading into the LA Olympics, we should have like a lot of athletes if we can keep this partnership going and really do things the right way. So if you're not sure, just, you know, reach out and ask. Jason LaChance is kind of helping me with all these rules and making sure we stick with these rules. But you definitely can say the United States Performance Center, the Juice Plus company, sponsors the athletes at the United States Performance Center, right? We're the main whole food plant powder supplement, right, for the USPC. And follow the USPC. Their website is usperformancecenter.com. and their Instagram is the same thing, US Performance Center. And you'll get lots of content there and you can just share it. I share something almost every day just directly from their site. So they're not going to post anything that we're not allowed to post.
Now they have a beautiful site. It's really nice. Very, very nice. Now, what's the difference in sponsorship for those that are listening in that are familiar with NIL and collegiate sponsorships and so forth? What's the difference in sponsorship and NIL deals for athletes and the opportunity that we have as a Juice Plus partner to offer this kind of the same opportunity for partners to set up partnerships with other athletes?
Absolutely. So almost every day I get several people who Voxer me and say, Toni, I know this athlete. Do you think we could give them free Juice Plus? And unfortunately, the company may decide to do that, but they only are probably going to do a few athletes. We have Shannon Miller and we have Jason Fowler and some amazing athletes that we sponsor and that are part of our company. But even better than getting free Juice Plus would be to share with them our affiliate partner account, right? Because while they're an athlete, they may get certain sponsorships. They may get NIL deals. For those of you who don't know, NIL means name, image, likeness. So they'll send them a big box of, products from their company. They will give them money, but it's usually a one-time thing, or except for the very elite athletes might get a long-term sponsorship. So what I say to people is, oh my gosh, we have something amazing that you could build now while you're an influencer, while you're an athlete, and you get to keep it forever. You get to keep it forever, right? It's not gonna stop once you stop your athletic career. And how do you share that? Just like you share with anyone that you're recruiting to become a part of our community. Share what's different about it, what sets us apart, income with impact, and customize it for that athlete or for that coach or for that PE teacher or for that, so many people need what we have. They need extra income. Some of these athletes get very little sponsorship. Some of the lesser known sports get very little money, get very little in deals, even in free product. So they're very, very interested in what we have to offer and to be able to work with us and then help them be successful. Partner with them. Don't just send them off on their own, hoping that they share Juice Plus properly. Help them, with our amazing resources. We have so many tools that we can connect them with. They
That's,
love boards, by the way, because it's on their phone. Most of them are on their phone, right? So they love boards.
yes, and such a brilliant idea because a lot of the NIL income is going to be temporary, of course, and as you mentioned, this income could follow them the rest of their lives. Good, reliable income in a portfolio that shows up each and every month. Great,
Absolutely.
great information for everyone that's listening in. That's wonderful. Now, how do you think this partnership will add to our Juice Plus mission now and in the future?
Well, my hope is that we all get brave and, it's not going to happen just because the company decided to have this partnership. It's up to us to turn it into more sales and more people added to our community that are sharing. So I made a training last week. Some of you may have been able to listen to it. It's only 14 minutes long, but Kerry's going to send that out with the recording for tonight. If you haven't had a chance to listen to it, and it's a training on how to share this and how to use it to build your own business. But even more importantly, to have a performance division for Juice Plus, right? And our new marketing people, our new CEO, Travis Garza, like when we have our new digital platform, there'll be so many opportunities for specific landing pages and things like that, that we can send an athlete and they see other athletes, right? But yeah, it's up to us. That's why I'm so passionate about helping you guys with tools and telling you to not panic, not freak out just because you're not a coach or an athlete. You have something amazing that you know about. So be loud and proud in sharing that, and pull in your leaders to talk to people with you if you're nervous, which is what you do anyway, right? When you talk to someone else. So nothing changes. Our tried and proven system still works in this situation. It's just getting brave. And I had a meeting this week with a man who just opened an incredibly beautiful and large gym in the Charlotte area. And 15 minutes, I sat down and just told him about the Juice Plus Performance Protocol and what micronutrients were and why that was so important. And after 15 minutes, he said, "Yeah, let's put that in here. Let's have that as part of this facility." And I was like, "Okay." So some of us are used to pushback, but in this situation, we're aligned with some pretty cool athletes and training programs. And that speaks, volumes to these people that we want to connect with.
Well, great advice. Now, you were just mentioning how to share, of course. Very briefly, if you don't mind, how would you suggest the language to have partners use to introduce the USPC and Juice Plus in the same breath?
Okay. Yeah, I said it before, but here's one thing that I say. We are so excited that the United States Performance Center has chosen to partner with the Juice Plus company. Every resident athlete there will be consuming the Juice Plus Performance Protocol. So something like that gets them to go, what is the Juice Plus, performance protocol? And then you get to share that. And then the next verbiage is that same Juice Plus performance protocol is now available for other athletes and non-athletes that are looking to elevate their performance. And then obviously, depending on who you're talking to, we have a ballet company that is using it to provide a scholarship. So they're offering it, and the money from that is going for a scholarship. So it's going to be a little bit different depending on who you're talking to, but that verbiage I just read you is from that training. And I've posted that in the Sideline NMD chat. So if you have not had access to that training, Kerry will help us spread it far and wide. And it has been approved through corporate too.
Wow, thank you so much for doing that. Really do appreciate it. For all the listeners tonight, any final comments?
No, I'm just excited, but it's going to take all of us. We really want to turn the sick care world back into a well care world, but we also want to turn it into a high performance world. And so many people are in survival mode, and my word for this year is thrive. I want to help everybody go into thrive mode. And we have something that can definitely move people in that direction. So get out there and share. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you so much, Toni. And I have a suggestion for all the listeners tonight is that whether your team is 2 people or 5 people or 500 or 1,000, I'll suggest that you send this video to all of your team. And the reason I'm suggesting that, after being in this business with Juice Plus, my wife Mickey and I, for 34 years, we understand which are the most successful and most productive interviews to be able to send out. This is huge. So again, whether you've got 3 people in your group or you've got 3,000, when we hang up and when you get a copy of this from your peers, be sure you send it to your team. This is invaluable and will help you grow your business really well. Thank you so much again, Toni. I appreciate your time.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for spending your valuable time here tonight. Bye.